Hey, what's up guys? My name is Cherno. Welcome to episode 69 of Game Programming. So, yesterday we took a look at, well, a few things. First of all, fixing up this damn code. Second of all, making it draggable. And we've pretty much got everything pretty much sorted out now. So, the hardest part of this thing, honestly, was just pretty much getting the angle that we want to shoot at. And we've done that. So, that's awesome. Everything else is pretty damn easy. So, let's go on to freaking projectile stuff. Because that is fun. So, what do we want to do, right? If we shoot, which is right over here, what do we actually want to do? First of all, we've now got the direction in degrees, and we might change that in a minute, we'll see. But let's remove that system thing. What should we do now? Let's see. Okay, we've got the direction. What do we need? Okay, cool. There's a few things I kind of don't want to do. Okay, let's just make a projectile class. Let's just do it. So we'll probably do it in entity. Should it be in entity? So we'll add a new class here. We'll put it probably into com.cherno.rain. I'm just thinking entity. Yep, we'll make it an entity, I guess. I almost don't want to though. I don't think. I guess we'll make it extend entity just for now. I don't know if it should though. Like, I mean, I don't. Probably not, we'll see. Projectile. We'll see what entity actually has and then we can decide. So, entity has... Okay, it's got removed, that's good. Is removed... No, we pretty much do want it to be an entity. Because I'm just looking through this and I'm like, yeah, pretty much all of this is what a projectile should be. So, I guess we'll make it an entity. Okay, and this is just going to be the superclass for all these things. So in other words, in the projectile package here, we'll have different projectiles. So like, I'll make one called, okay, this is where you guys really have to decide. Our guy kind of looks like a wizard. So I'm just going to make a class called wizard projectile. Okay, and again, that'll be in the projectile package, the projectile folder. And that will obviously extend projectile. Right, so in other words, projectile is probably going to be an abstract class at this point that will contain everything we need to make a projectile, basically. So first thing we need is a constructor. Okay, so projectile. What do we need, right? Let's just think about it this way. What do we need for a projectile? There are so many things we actually need, right? But some of these things could be actually set by this. So instead of actually starting with the constructor, let's start with other things that we might need. So protected. We'll probably need, well, we should have a final, protected, integer for the X origin and the Y origin. So this is where the, this is actually where the, thing spawns at. Okay, we definitely need that. And again, it will be final. We also need... Why did I do it that way? That is bizarre. Let's do it this way. It looks much nicer this way. Okay, projected final int x origin, y origin. We probably also need the angle. Well, we definitely need the angle. Projected double angle. And we probably need a sprite. Oh, we'll definitely need a sprite. And let's just call it quits for now, I think. I guess we should probably... Should we do it that way? We'll have to do it that way anyway, so... I guess we'll also... I'm just doing this on the fly, so I apologize for my non-professionalism, I guess. I don't know. Protected, double nx and ny. So this is just going to be the vector translation. So this is going to be like the new x and new y. This will change each step, each tick, each update, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so here we have to do a few things. First of all, we clearly need to fill out these final fields. That's why it's giving us this, because y origin and x origin have not been initialized, and they have to be. So we definitely need x and y. We also need the direction, definitely, and there's a million other things that we could add, such as, you know, damage, speed, rate of fire, right? So many different like modifiers that we can add, but I think they'll be projectile specific. So I'll basically tell you what that means in a minute. But we definitely would need let's just make them right now. So let's see. Speed is 1. I might just make them as a double. So speed, rate of fire, and what else should we add to this awesome thing? What was the other thing I said? Oh, range is definitely 1. I don't think I said that last time, did I? Oh, and damage. So we've got all these different things, right? But what I'm thinking right now is that, you know, why add all of these things into the constructor? Like, that's useless. Because I think that we'll just add them to all the subclasses. So for example, wizard projectile, you know, that might have a static damage thing. All right, I'm thinking of that now, and that might not be the case because player modifications might be able to extend ranges and everything. Maybe not. I'm not sure. Anyway, let's just leave it at that for now. We can change it later. It'll be really easy to change, so don't worry. Okay, awesome. So let's just set these things. So x origin needs to equal x, and y origin needs to equal y. And then we can get rid of those problems. Okay, sweet. What else should we have? So with the direction, angle equals direction. Okay, and that should be it, right? So over here we just use super as we did. And then we can set a few other things. So like we can set the range right now to be about, I don't know, 300 maybe. We'll see. Maybe a bit less. We're not going to implement range straight away though, so you guys can see why we actually need range. Make the damage like 20, I don't know. Rate of fire, make that like 15. And again, we won't implement all these now. I'm just setting random values here. Okay, angle. Let's see. When we use math.cosine and stuff, do we need the angle in degrees or in radians? We should need it in radians, but I think we need it in degrees. No, we need it in radians. Okay, cool. So in that case, we don't actually have to do anything, do we? We just set. Okay, we just set this to angle. Okay, we won't need to do that now though. Okay, awesome. Oh, actually, yes, we will, because I'm going to introduce you guys to some vector maths. So I hope you guys are, I hope you guys at least know what vectors are. Like, but you know, I did tell myself that I would assume pretty much no knowledge from you guys. And that's fine. Like, I don't mind explaining this stuff. It's fun, I guess. Okay, so let's go. Oh, I never got that graphics tablet. Damn it. Anyway. Okay, so how do vectors work? That's what we're going to cover today, vectors. Okay, sweet, vectors. Okay, so vectors, why do we need them and how do we use them? First of all, vectors basically tell us, well, vectors are another way of storing coordinates pretty much, but instead of, you know, storing coordinates in an x and y fashion, you know, we can store coordinates in a polarized fashion, which basically means that each coordinate has an angle and a length, right? And that's just meant to be a little, a comma there, okay? So we know the angle of something and we know how long it's supposed to be, right? Thus we have a vector, because we know what that angle is, all right? And we know the length or the magnitude of that vector, okay? So that's basically how vectors work. So instead of x and y, they store angle and length, which is awesome, because what we then need to do, right, is pretend this is our little player here. We want to fire a projectile in, let's just say, this direction, okay? Now, what has to happen there? What we actually have to do, right, to be able to fire that projectile in that angle, right, in theta angle here, what we need to do is we need to animate it. You know, we can't animate, we cannot animate diagonally, can we? What we can do, though, is animate on the x-axis and the y-axis. So what we actually do is we say, okay, move it this much towards the x, you know, move it this much on the x-axis and this much on the y-axis. And so what we actually get is something that looks like this, okay? But it's really precise. It's basically pixel precision, so it looks smooth. But that's basically how we do this. So what we need to use vectors for is to figure out how much we should move on the x-axis every tick or every update, and how much we should move on the y-axis every tick or every update, okay? So that's why we can use two things. We can use cos to work out x, and we can use sine. So cosine and sine, and we can use sine to work out, and this should be sin, y, okay? We can use those two mathematical functions to actually give us those values. So it really is that simple. So let's just implement that right now. So new x, right, that's where we're actually traveling, should basically equal math.cosine of the angle, right? And y should equal math.sine of the angle, right? Is that correct? And by a I mean angle. Yeah, is that correct? Well, kind of, okay? The thing is, this will move it very slowly, okay? Because this is going to give us a number that's basically going to be between like, what, 0 and 1 or something like that, maybe 0 and 2. It's going to be really, really small. You know, what we want to do is just say, okay, move that much, but, you know, let's multiply it by a multiplier, by like 4, for example. Okay, and the multiplier that we'll actually use here is probably the speed of the projectile. So let's set a speed here as well to like 20. Let's just set it to like 4 for now. And then we'll just multiply speed times that. Yeah? And so now it'll move, you know, that much on the x, but it'll just be amplified by the speed so that we actually get something that moves at a decent rate, and we can actually control how fast it moves again, which is, yeah, really awesome. Make sure these are the same though, right? So don't do like speed times 2, you know, here, and then just leave this like that, because that will obviously not go in the angle you want it to go in, because x will be moving faster than y. Okay, that is basically how we do that, okay? Now, we do have to do a few things in the update method now. You know that we kind of extend that. So if we go public void update, then you can see that we actually override the one in entity, which is right here. Okay, so where are we? I don't want entity. Oh, we closed our wizard projectile. Let's open that back up. Okay, so in update, we need to do a lot of things. First of all, what we actually need to do is we kind of need to work out, well, okay, let's move the thing first of all. We'll just probably pop this here though. And I'll make it protected. Okay, awesome, and that overrides that one, obviously. So in move, we'll do a few things. First of all, we need to basically, well, think of it as the move thing in mob, right? When we move the mob, what do? Well, basically, we just check for collision and then move it on separate axis. Okay, well, actually, we check for, we separate the axis first, and then we move it in separate axis. Same thing here, right? But we won't worry about collision for now. So x, right, and obviously our entity here has an x position, not this entity, my entity has an x and y position. So we'll just make x plus equal. Guess what? We're gonna make it plus equal. Any guesses? NX, okay? And y plus equals ny. And guys, that is as simple as it is, okay? That is literally as simple as it is. That is how we make a projectile animate across the screen in a particular direction, because we've already made this vector really easily here. And then now what we have to do is just animate it by those two modifiers, and we did, which is awesome. So that's pretty sick. That's, yeah, actually took less time than I thought it would. So yeah, that's basically what it's going to do. Now let's talk about actually adding them. I don't know how much time we have left. Probably don't have that much time left, but I'm just going to probably finish something now today, just so you guys can have fun with it, I guess. Okay. So let's go back to our projectile. Where are we? Let's go back to our player. So this is where we actually shoot. So when we shoot, this happens. Let's get rid of that. Let's just comment that out for now, because we want the angle not in degrees. What we need to do here is actually, well, add a projectile, right? And then we want to render it. So every time that this shoot method runs, we've shot something. So we need to make a new projectile. So for this case, I'll probably just make it a new wizard projectile. That's one that we just made with x, y, and direction. That's correct. Okay, and it wants direction as an integer. Should we keep it that way? Probably not. Yeah, let's just cast it to an int straight away. It's fine. We don't really need to be that precise. We might change that later. We'll see. Okay. So now we've got all that stuff figured out. We need to make an array list that holds projectiles. Now I kind of don't want to make it here though. I want to make it in the level. So we'll just probably say that. Oh, there's so many reasons not to make it in level though. No, let's make it in mob, okay? And I'll tell you why in a minute. So protected list projectile. So projectiles equals new array list projectile. Okay, sweet. So the reason I made this in mob and not in level, even though I was very tempted to actually put it into level, was because this way we can actually trace back who owns which projectile really easily. We can just ask to display the instance of that mob, and then we can just basically know whose projectile is who. And that's going to be really important in the future, because as in Realm of the Mad God, if we kill something, we want to get the XP. So we need to know what projectile actually killed it. And we can trace that back and be like, oh, okay, it belonged to this mob, so give him, 100 XP or whatever. So that's going to be a lot of fun when we get to that stage, I promise you. We still do need to add it to the level thing, though. It is an entity. So what we need to do is, let's just, so projectiles.add P. I might actually change that to shots instead of projectiles, but we'll think about that in a minute. And let's level.add. Do we not have that figured out? Come on, bro. Really? We don't have an add thing? Where's my outline? No, we don't. Okay, that is bizarre. We should definitely have that there. Okay, let's make that right here. So public void add entity. Entities dot what? Wow, we haven't done anything here. I was under the impression that we actually had a bit of a game going on here. Apparently not. Okay, this is going to be a long episode. Sorry in advance. Well, maybe not sorry. You guys seem to like long episodes. We really should have a private list here called entities. And how the hell are we not? How do we have? No, we must have that here. How are we rendering stuff if we don't? Are you kidding me? Wow. Okay, this is okay. So what we need, guys, is we need an array list to store entities. I'm really sorry. This is falling apart here, because I thought we had this, so now I don't really want to spend time teaching you what it actually does. Okay. So what this array list does is it's basically just an array of all the entities that we should have in our level. The reason we're using an array list and not a standard array is because we want it to be dynamic, right? So we only want the size of this array to be as many entities as we have in there, okay? And again, I'm just adding all these things to our thing, but anyway. So we've got entities now. What we should be doing, right? I don't know why we're not doing that, but over here in render, we should basically just be rendering all these entities, and in update especially, entities.get dot update. Okay, and obviously we need to put that in a for loop. All right, cool. So that's just going to update all of our entities, and we definitely should put. Okay, so this renders the level. That's cool. After we finish rendering the level, though, let's render all of our entities. Okay, cool. As if we don't. Oh, okay. So screen gets passed across. Brilliant. Okay, well, this is somewhat better now. I don't know why we didn't have it like that before, but over here in add entities E, we should entities.add E. Okay. And that'll just add our entities basically into the list that we need to render and update. And I hope that in game we're actually updating our level, are we? No, we're not. Okay, so over here we should have level.update. Sweet. Okay. So again, I really apologize for that. I thought we had done that already. But I'm sure you can forgive me because I just released 3 episodes in a row, and it's going to be 4 tomorrow. Oh no, sorry, 4 episodes in a row. So yeah, enjoy. You're welcome. No need to freaking do anything for me. It's cool. Liking the video could help though. Maybe make me a bit happier. Anyway, so over here in mob, right? We want to level.add this projectile to the level now. That's pretty good, I think. That's pretty much all we need to do. Okay, so that's really cool. Now, what we need to do in Wizard Projectile is have a render method. So public void render. Let's just, because we've done so much in this, well, we've got a lot of sprites here. let's just... Oh, we can just reuse the sprite, I guess. Oh yeah, we've got grass and flower. Let's just use grass, okay? So we'll set probably the I think if we use, and this has to be screen. Screen dot render. What do we have? Tile. Probably do this. So X, Y, and the sprite. We'll use a sprite, and let's set a sprite here. So for wizard projectile, we'll make the sprite equal to sprite.grass. For now, we'll make a sprite and everything next time. Okay. Okay, sweet. So what that should do is that should essentially render a tile. Let me just check this if this is correct. Oh, this is correct. Yeah, this should work. Okay, cool. So again, we'll see what happens. Okay, nothing happened. Love it when that happens. Okay, let's come back here. That's an entity. That is correct. Hang on a minute. Okay, X. Okay. Okay, so this should probably be... Hang on, did we ever even set X correctly? I think it is working, I just think it's in the wrong place. X origin equals X and Y, yeah, but we kind of need to set this.x equal to X and this.y equal to Y. That's kind of important. Alright, there we go. Yeah? So it's not perfect, in fact, it seems to only be doing some angles, and that's probably because of... Oh, I know why that's happening. That's because our... But yeah, you can see that it's working, so that's cool, I guess. It's probably because, I think this can actually take degrees. I think that... Okay, maybe not. There is a way to make it take degrees, though, I'm fairly sure. Okay, let's go back into, where are we? This is a wizard projectile, right? Yeah, let's go back to projectile and make... That is an angle. This should be a double then. Oh my goodness, cannot type. Bros, what's up? Okay, then let's go back into mob, and let's not cast that to an end. That's what happens. Whoops. Oh, is that? Okay. There we go. Okay, yeah, there we go. So you can see that pretty much works here, right? We've got a bunch of things here. So there's no collision, right? That's one thing that's kind of not correct. We're also, you can see that our angles are not 100% accurate here. You can see that. There are a lot of flaws here. For example, when we're actually removing these things once they go out from range. And if we make the speed slower, so where's the projectile? We'll make the speed like 2 or something. Okay, you can see that if I just shoot these, that is really too fast. I'm really slow, aren't I? This player's way too slow here. Okay, there we go. Oh, there we go. So that's as fast as play. This little blob here will keep going forever. So that's kind of an issue. We've got to fix that, obviously. But yeah. Why have they stopped? Okay. Right. Anyway, there are a few issues here that we need to fix up. We could do that now, of course. Or we could not do it now. Up to you guys. Well, it's not actually up to you guys, it's up to me. Okay, right. Anyway, okay, so that's rough shooting. You guys can see how that kind of works. And that works pretty well, actually. But we need to basically implement collision for these things. We need to also implement, a range. And the reason range is there is because, if range isn't there, we're going to run into issues. Like, you know, if I keep doing this for a while, like this game's gonna crash eventually. In fact, you can actually see the FPS going down. So at the moment the FPS is okay. FK, yeah, that's the FPS. If I just leave this on for a while, we're gonna start going down pretty soon. Because it's just constantly adding them, and that's kind of an issue. So right now we're already below 2000 FPS, and if we start the game clean, obviously we are at like 3000. So yeah, that's an issue, and we'll fix that and everything. So the issues that we have to fix now are basically angles, range, and let's go back into our task list. Okay. So to complete this, we need to basically fix angles. So in other words, make the angles more precise. We need to add a range, and then we need to add collisions. Add collision. And that's probably it. Okay, so that's basically what we've gone up to. So we have implemented it pretty well right now. Oh, we need to add a sprite as well. So add a sprite. And yeah, whoops, that should be it. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Game Programming. If you did, please hit the like button. And I'll see you guys some other time with probably range. That's what we'll do next. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.